Welcome to That's My Biz, the Internet Business Showcase, where we bring exposure to products, services, and special causes of local businesses and organizations. Thank you so much for joining us. We are coming to you live from the BizLinks TV studio. Brought to you by Visual Marketing Mentors, LLC. Hi, I'm Pamela Alexander, and welcome to another episode of That's My Biz, where we bring you fantastic businesses, nonprofits, and associations to share with you their services, their products, and their special causes. Another great guest for you, as always. We have Miss Tia Buckham-White. Welcome, Tia.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, to share with you a bit about Tia, she is the founder of Notre Internationale, LLC. She has 15 years of corporate experience in information technology, sales, and customer support. Her open-minded approach and understanding of corporate culture has served her well in dealing with technology teams and business users. Notre Internationale LLC, an Atlanta-based firm, focuses on self-awareness, personal support coaching with a focus on group support and team engagement. As a personal support coach, group facilitator, and public speaker, Notre works with individual groups, small groups, and mid-sized organizations. Along with public speaking, Notre offers one-on-one support, monthly support groups, and quarterly workshops. Let's get right in there. So first of all, we've got to know, where does the name come from, Notre Internationale?
Well, the name actually was created because I was trying to be creative.
Okay.
But I like to play on the word hour, and it being French, Notre being using that word. And I just thought with, Notre Dame, Our Lady of Grace, hours, I wanted it to be something that really showed that it was our way of engaging, our community, our interaction, our time together speaking. So I kind of wanted to play off the word hour.
Okay, fantastic. So now tell everyone, give them a better idea of what the company really does.
What my company does is we really do focus, kind of what you mentioned, on helping people become more aware of themselves and how what they're doing or saying is showing up in their experiences with others, whether that's familial based, personally based, or even professionally based. I think a lot of us interact with people, and sometimes we have interactions and we wonder, what was going on there? Or what happened with that? But I think that I felt that I was conditioned to always look at someone else as being the problem. And when things in my life were shifting or moving or not going the way I thought they should go, I would find myself kind of leaning more toward, well, if Pam hadn't said what she said, then, and I just know Pam can't. Yes. And it just never occurred to me to consider, well, what did you say?
Right.
So I kind of started doing some, understanding, and it really was based out of my personal relationships, wanting them to be better, wanting to be more effective, wanting to understand why in my businesses, in my corporate life, I wouldn't be, I wasn't a horrible employee, but I definitely had struggles interacting with teams sometimes, or cross-culturally, or cross-gender. And when I became more aware of what it means for me to be aware of myself and what I'm bringing to the table, it just changed my whole perspective. It took me many years to kind of get this idea focused.
And this is an interesting area, something that, individuals and definitely businesses often don't think about. And because it reminds me of when I used to be in corporate, and, someone would get a promotion and the others would, have all the reasons outside themselves on why they didn't get the promotion. So thinking about self-awareness, this is something, how do you encourage individuals and businesses to actually to work with you and really delve deep into learning about self-awareness and how this can work for them?
Well, here's what I'll say. My business is an outgrowth of working with professional women. And as I work with more professional women, those women would kind of pointing me in directions to get involved more in more, a few corporate things. What I'm finding is that there's a movement in general in business where you have diversity departments and people that are over diversity, trainers and executive coaches that are really talking a lot more about it. So I think my piece really was built out of more the personal side. So what would happen is, let's just say we were doing a group with professional women that happen to be single. Those professional women who have corporate jobs would talk about what was happening at work. And they would kind of take what we're doing in the support group, the monthly support group, back to work. And they would understand themselves differently. Like, oh, I was in that meeting with Bob, and, he said this, and I saw myself do this. And I remember that, when we were at group last month, you know, one of the women told me this.
Yes.
And it kind of was an outgrowth of that.
Yeah.
And then as I talked to more of the women in my life that are executive coaches or trainers, it kind of gave me opportunity to step a little bit closer to kind of add on to what they're already doing and bring a more personal element to the workplace. Not so structured where you're just strictly being very, you know, pragmatic and structured, and we're only going to talk about these 4 things.
Right.
It really gives a conversation to warm up the conversation in corporate, where you can say, so how did you feel, Pam, when Todd said that? And let's talk about that more. So I'm hoping that I can grow, where we're having more real conversations about specifically self-awareness, where people can look in the mirror and say, yeah, I can see where I've kind of held my career back. Even though, yes, these people did those things, my reaction to those things affected my ability to move. One of the things that I do say when I do coach some of the women that I work with, what I say to them is, if your personal life is struggling, it'll affect the trajectory of your professional life. And that's what gets people's attention. And they're like, okay, now that I can get with. Because if you can mask it, and we can all go to work and show up and do our job, but the better you feel personally, the more effective you can be professionally. I believe that.
That's fantastic. And because I know, you know, kind of the first thought is, oh, this is kind of the kind of touchy-feely and out there in the universe kind of concepts and whatnot. What are some of the things you shared that really get people beyond that, getting them to warm up and actually open up?
Really, one of the things that changed, I can start from what happened for me, and this is what I share with people. I can only control myself. And you know how you hear people say that, and you're like, okay, yeah, but they still did this. Right? Or he still did that, or she still said that. Or the country's still that. But with the power that you have of yourself, how you feel about when things are said to you and how you show up, and understanding what your structure is. So especially in corporate environment, there's a structure. There's a person with power who affects what happens to you. Your ability to understand what they need, how they think, what they're saying, and how you're showing up to give them a perception can just make a small difference in what you're doing professionally. And I find it more with, you know, maybe more mid-tier people that are trying to get to the next level. You know, usually people, I think, they're at the executive level or higher, they kind of have mastered some of these skills. But I think when you're in that mid-management level, or you're trying to go to management, or you're trying to go to the next level from mid-management, understanding these small things can make a really big difference in your ability to take your career to the next level, or your business. I definitely, it was a little bit more difficult getting my concept out and starting a business than I thought it would be. And a lot of it had to do with some of the things I didn't realize I was bringing to the table. So when I got a business coach who really does great executive coaching, she really helped me see myself more effectively.
So share a bit of your background and how you did kind of get into this field.
Well, I was in information technology for 15 years or so. I was always the only female, or the only, you know, sometimes the only woman of color. Usually dealing with my first opportunity in technology was actually, I majored in broadcast journalism, but could not get an opportunity paying money worth the degree that I had in the Deep South. So I went to work for Delta Airlines in the 90s, early mid-90s, close to the mid-90s, in 93, 94. And I was exposed to their ticketing software that's proprietary, which was very technological. You know, that's a pretty full software package. And was exposed to technology. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This software does all this stuff. Got into technology that way. And I wound up doing information technology recruiting in the 90s. Got exposed, and I became a software trainer. And then I became a software analyst for one of our clients. And that's kind of how I was brought into technology. And that's how I was always exposed to looking at what's being said, looking at how people are being treated, noticing that I'm the only person that looks like me in the room. But the last part of my career, I was on an executive software sales team, and I did business intelligence software, and noticed that there weren't as many women, weren't as many people of color. Not that it is what it is, but my interactions affected that. So that was my last leap, the last 5 or 6 years of my career, where I was like, okay, this has been gnawing at me, this feeling I have about people not understanding this or how I feel. So I kind of got into working with other professional women by starting just support groups, where we kind of get together monthly and talk about what they're doing, and teaching them how to build a network with someone else. So I can call you Pam. We're not best friends. We just meet monthly. You have a commitment to feeling better or understanding yourself, and I do too. And if something comes up at work, although you may not be a senior executive or you may not be in my company, your objectivity about my experience could help you. So it kind of evolved out of really looking at my own career, some of my own, stopping points,
And it sounds like, in addition to the support, then you end up with an accountability partner or a few accountability partners to really kind of keep you remembering some of the growth that you've had, but then also kind of just keeping you on track if you kind of veer off a little bit.
Keeping you on track, and also one of the concepts that I wound up developing as I would do more groups is how to objectively support someone.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes what we do is we come to the table with our own opinion at the base of it, but we may behave really nicely and, okay, Pam, but I'm really going to lead you in this direction because this is what I think.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that people understand sometimes that objective support means if I want to do a roller skate rink and you want to do an ice skating rink, and you come to me to talk about your excitedness, I'm not going to try to get you to buy roller skates.
Right.
I'm going to support you where you are and say, you know what, I didn't know that about ice, so tell me what you're going to do with the ice. Really objectively not putting my perspective in it. And I think it makes women and men, lower their defenses to be open about what's happening for them in a way that's basic. And sometimes people do wind up saying, after doing, group support with us, they'll say, okay, I want to go see a therapist because I really get it now. Or I'm going to go talk to my pastor because I really get this now. It's really more of a letting the network, I like to call the community of us the network. And I think if we connect more to each other, the network will reset itself more effectively. But we've all been taught to be a little siloed. Keep the wall. Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. But we never really engage deeper about it. So there are a lot of different pieces too.
Wow, this is some good stuff, some good information, and some things that hadn't really thought about. Now, let me ask you, so we hear a lot about women. Now, who is your target audience, and who do you primarily work with?
Primarily, I work with professional women.
Okay.
Mostly, I've worked with women of color, although I work with all women.
Okay.
But mostly professional women that are, upper middle class women. Because I also felt that when I was thinking about who do I want to focus on, I really found that the women that I interacted with, we would have these conversations and we would be carrying a lot of stress, whether it's managing our home life or wanting to grow a home life or wanting to build our careers. And but we all looked, like everything was great. And so it didn't seem like we were getting a lot of engagement. Or I would do go to dinner gatherings with friends and we wound up having these amazing conversations about our lives. And people would tell all these deep things, but they would say there's nowhere for them to do that. So you could go into a structured environment, like I said, a therapeutic structured environment to do that. But I think there's a space before that where you can learn a skill of being a little bit more open, a little bit more transparent, a little bit more able to see yourself and support someone else and hear what they have to say and just allow yourself to
Great. So now if there's a tidbit that you'd like to share with the audience before we go, what would that be?
What I'd like to share is I think that this is the best time to be alive in American history. I think it's the best time to be a person of color, a woman, someone who is trying to do something new and different, who's trying to push the envelope. And the reason why I think that is because I think that you can see the movements, whether it's commercials or television, where society is becoming more open to other ways of seeing things. Now, there is I do have a belief that it's because it's not financially good for them not to be open. But I also believe it's because the people that are making the moves get it now, and you can just see deeper conversations. I mean, if you talk about the TED Talks that, if you just listen, I mean, I'm riveted. I don't care what the topic is, I'm riveted. So I do think that now is a great time to be open, and I think that if there's anything that you want to do, there are people out there that are supporting each other to help you get there. So I think that the thing I'd like to leave with is really be open and think about how you are playing a role in the life you're living. Because if you start there, then you have full control of that, and you really don't have control of everything outside of you. And the more comfort you find in looking there and building a network of people that can support you.
That is fantastic.
You can be successful.
Good. I hope there's some tidbits that you all got out of this. Something that has really sparked you to want to reach out to Tia and learn more about yourself, learn more about others that are around you. Definitely please reach out to Tia and to Notre Internationale. Tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Well, my email address is tbw@NotreInternationale.com. My website is the same, www.notreinternationale.com. And please feel free to give me a call if you'd like to at 678-637-8613. Again, that's 678-637-8613. And thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
you.
We look forward to talking with you some more. And everyone, thank you all for joining us as well. I am Pamela Alexander, your host for That's My Biz. Remember that you can catch our on-demand episodes at our website, www.bizlinks.tv. You can also check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Be sure to go out there, provide some comments, share your feedback and your thoughts about the show. And then also remember, you can also watch us on Roku. You can find us on the HerTube channel, and also keep an eye out for our upcoming BizLinks TV channel out there on Roku. Remember, we want to expose your business to the world. Until next time, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Today's show can be viewed on demand on our website at www.bizlinks.tv. If you are interested in having your products, services, or special cause showcased on our program, submit an inquiry to that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. In addition, information on advertising and hosting your own show can be found on our website at bizlinks.tv.